Hey guys, tonight we're going to do something a little different. Instead of a journey to the stars or into the past, we're going to take a trip inward, a quiet, gentle voyage into the very core of what makes you you. We'll be exploring the most intimate landscape we know, the human body. But tonight we're going to imagine it not as a finished masterpiece, but as a living, breathing work in progress. Picture the soft glow of a screen, the subtle hum of the world outside, and the steady rhythmic beat of your own heart. Now imagine that beat is not just keeping you alive, but is a quiet metronome marking time for an evolutionary change that never truly stopped. Our bodies are often thought of as static, the final product of millions of years of natural selection. But what if that's not true? What if our cells, our bones, our very consciousness are still whispering to the future? This journey we're about to take is a beautiful one. But let me give you a quick, humorous reality check. A lot of these radical changes we're going to explore would probably make you completely unrecognizable and maybe even a little fragile in today's world. You might not survive the first week. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Now I want you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and maybe, just maybe, let me know where you are and what time it is for you right now. I'm speaking from a quiet room where the clock just ticked past midnight. Now let's begin our story, a gentle story about a what if. The human body is a vast interconnected universe, a woven tapestry of biological processes, genetic code, and historical echoes. Every single one of us is a walking, talking history book and a hint of a future yet to come. The first thread in this tapestry we'll pull on tonight is the very idea of change itself. We often think of evolution in grand sweeping terms, dinosaurs turning into birds, or our ancient ancestors standing upright. But what if we zoom in? What if we look at the quiet, almost invisible evolution happening right now? It's not about growing wings or a third eye. It's about the subtle, almost poetic changes that whisper in our DNA. Think of it like this: your body is a river. It seems constant, unchanging. But if you were to drop a single pebble in the water, the ripples would spread, altering the flow in ways both big and small. The river is the same river, but it is also eternally new. One of the most fascinating scientific concepts that helps us understand this is the idea of epigenetics. It's a field of study that suggests our environment and our experiences can literally turn genes on or off without changing the underlying DNA sequence. It's like a dimmer switch for your genes. Imagine your DNA is a complex musical score. Epigenetics are the notes and annotations in the margins telling the orchestra, your cells, which parts of the score to play loudly, which to play softly, and which to skip entirely. This is a profound and beautiful idea because it means that your life, the food you eat, the air you breathe, the stress you feel, all of it is writing a new chapter in the story of your body. These changes can even be passed down to your children and grandchildren, a subtle, silent legacy of your life's journey. It's a gentle reminder that we are not just a product of our past. We are also a product of our present, and our present is constantly shaping our future. So let's ground this with a lesser-known but beautiful scientific fact. Did you know that the gene that helps us digest milk lactase is a perfect example of this in action? For most of human history, after infancy, humans lost the ability to digest lactose. The gene simply switched off. But with the rise of dairy farming, a tiny mutation allowed some people to keep digesting milk into adulthood. Over time, this trait became more and more common in certain populations. It's not a grand dramatic change, but a subtle, powerful one, driven by a new way of living. This is the very essence of evolution, a quiet conversation between our bodies and our environment. It shows us that evolution is not just a relic of the past. It is an ongoing dialogue, a living tapestry that we are all a part of. This raises a truly beautiful and perhaps unanswerable question. If our environment can so profoundly shape our genetic expression, what kind of world would we have to live in to evolve a new sense? Not a sixth sense in the mystical way, but a new tangible perception. Perhaps an inner compass that could track the Earth's magnetic field, or the ability to perceive subtle changes in atmospheric pressure. Physicists and biologists still wonder if there are colors of light or frequencies of sound that are simply beyond our capacity to perceive. The truth is, we don't really know what we're missing. Our senses are our portals to reality, and it is entirely possible that they are only showing us a very small slice of a much larger pie. The idea that our bodies are still capable of unfolding a new way of seeing the world, a new way of being, is a deeply comforting thought. It suggests that our potential is not finite, but a garden waiting to be cultivated. And so we drift from the grand tapestry of humanity to the intricate threads of our own biology. Our journey into the future starts by looking inward. The body we inhabit right now is an incredible machine, a marvel of engineering perfected over millennia. But it is also a canvas. It is a promise. Every beat of your heart, every breath you take, is a part of this endless ongoing story. The cells in your body are constantly dying and being reborn, a quiet, beautiful cycle of renewal. In a way, you are not the same person you were a decade ago or even a year ago. The atoms and molecules that make you up have been replaced, recycled. You are a ship of Theseus, a constant paradox of permanence and change. This is the gentle rhythm of life. It's a process that never truly stops, not even when we are still. This stillness, this quiet moment you are in right now, is a part of that process. As you listen, your body is doing its quiet, steady work. Your immune system is patrolling for threats. Your brain is sorting and filing the day's memories. Your muscles are relaxing, preparing for the rest ahead. This is the hidden dance of evolution playing out in the dark theater of your own being. It's a dance of adaptation, of survival, of becoming. We are not just a collection of parts. We are a single cohesive entity, a testament to the power of slow, steady change. The body's ability to evolve is not a story of the past, but an epic that is still being written one word at a time. The first section of our journey ends here, but the journey itself has just begun. Our journey into the future of our bodies. This quiet, introspective pilgrimage now turns its gaze to the past. It's a strange paradox, isn't it? To understand where we might be going, we must first truly appreciate where we've been. And our bodies are filled with clues like a dusty old attic, filled with the forgotten treasures of our ancestors. These are the vestigial organs, the genetic whispers, the parts of us that no longer seem to serve a purpose, yet stubbornly remain. They are the beautiful and slightly bewildering footnotes in the long story of human evolution. Take, for example, the tiny muscle that runs up our forearm. We can call it the palmaris longus. For many of us, if you touch your thumb to your pinky finger and slightly flex your wrist, a tendon will pop out. This is a leftover from our primate, past a powerful muscle that helped our ancestors climb and grip branches. For a small percentage of people today, it's simply not there, having quietly faded away over generations. For those of us who have it, it's a silent monument to a time when our world was a jungle canopy instead of a concrete one. It's a physical memory of a different kind of life, a different kind of body. The fact that it's slowly vanishing is a beautiful example of evolution in action, not as a grand explosion, but as a gentle, almost imperceptible fading. Now let's explore this idea on a deeper, more poetic level. We are all filled with these biological echoes. Our appendix, a small worm-like pouch attached to the large intestine, is perhaps the most famous example. Once thought to be a completely useless organ, a potential source of trouble, some scientists now believe it might serve as a safe house for beneficial gut bacteria, a place to repopulate the gut after a bout of illness. The truth is, we don't really know for sure. It's a mystery. This raises a fascinating philosophical question. Is there such a thing as a truly useless part of the body, Or have we simply not yet discovered its purpose? The same could be said for the tiny muscles at the base of our hairs, the ones that make our hair stand on end when we are cold or afraid. We call this goosebumps. In our furrier ancestors, this would have trapped a layer of air to keep them warm or made them look bigger to a predator. Today for us, it's a beautiful, pointless anachronism, a physical expression of a forgotten fear. This brings us to a core scientific concept, the principle of evolutionary parsimony. In a way, it's the idea that evolution is lazy. It doesn't like to waste energy. If a trait is no longer useful, it will either be lost or repurposed. Think of it like an old, well-loved house. You wouldn't tear down a wall just because it's no longer load-bearing. You might turn it into a bookshelf or a display case. Evolution works in a similar quiet and efficient way. Those vestigial parts, those echoes from the past, are like old bookshelves in the home of our bodies. They are a testament to our history, but they also represent a kind of biological potential. What if, for example, the genes that once controlled the formation of a tail in our distant ancestors were somehow reactivated? Or more realistically, what if the genetic code that governs our appendix could be repurposed by our bodies to serve a new yet-to-be-discovered function? A little-known but truly remarkable scientific fact is that the vast majority of our DNA, over 98% of it, was once labeled junk DNA. It was thought to be a meaningless biological leftover. But in recent years, scientists have discovered that much of this so-called junk DNA is actually crucial for regulating the genes that build and operate our bodies. It's like the white space on a page, seemingly empty but essential for giving the text meaning. This is a profound shift in our understanding. It means that the secrets of our past and the blueprints for our future are likely hidden not in the grand, obvious parts of our genes, but in the quiet, overlooked spaces in between. This raises an interesting question. If we could somehow consciously direct this process, what vestigial organ would we choose to repurpose? Would we want our wisdom teeth to grow back, but perhaps as something more useful? What if our bodies could become master sculptors of their own form? Not through conscious will, but through some new internal dialogue with our genetic code. The idea is not of a sudden magical change, but of a slow, deliberate unfolding. It's the thought that deep within our biological memory, there are dormant skills and forgotten abilities waiting for the right moment, the right environmental cue to awaken. So as we drift, let's consider this idea. We are not just a collection of parts, but a conversation between past and future. The echoes of a tale, the ghost of a muscle, the silent promise of our so-called junk DNA. All of it is a part of this story. It's a reminder that even in our most settled moments, even in our stillness, our bodies are a theater of constant quiet change. This is the gentle rhythm of evolution playing out in the deep, quiet spaces of our being. We are not just a finished product. We are a work in progress, a collection of stories, a series of possibilities waiting to be explored. The journey continues a gentle drift from the echoes of our deep past to the quiet, bustling cities that live within us. We've spoken of the body as a tapestry and a history book, but tonight, let's imagine it as a vast, complex ecosystem, a place teeming with life, much of it unseen yet profoundly influential. I am, of course, talking about our microbiome, the trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms that call our bodies home. They live in our gut, on our skin, in our mouths, and in every nook and cranny. For a long time, we viewed them as mere passengers, or worse, as invaders to be fought off. But in recent decades, a new, more beautiful truth has emerged. They are not just passengers, they are architects. They are an integral part of who we are. Imagine your body as a magnificent, sprawling city. Your cells are the buildings, your organs, the major districts. The microbiome is the population of that city. They are the artisans, the sanitation workers, the gardeners, and the librarians, all working in a quiet, organized chaos to keep the city running. A little-known fact that I find utterly mesmerizing is that our bodies contain more microbial cells than human cells. We are, in a very real sense, more of them than us. The thought is both humbling and deeply poetic. It challenges our very notion of individuality, doesn't it? We are not a single entity, but a collective, a universe of coexisting life. The science behind this is the concept of a symbiotic relationship. It's a partnership where both parties benefit. Your gut bacteria, for example, help you digest food that your body couldn't break down on its own. They produce essential vitamins like B and K, and they help train your immune system to distinguish between friend and foe. In return, we give them a warm, safe place to live and a constant supply of food. It's a perfect, quiet collaboration, a dance that has been going on for millions of years. But what if this dance could evolve into a more conscious, more deliberate choreography? This brings us to a beautiful and very profound question. What if we were to co-evolve with our microbiome in a conscious way? What if our future bodies were not just a result of our own genetic destiny, but a partnership with the microscopic life within us? We're not talking about some radical science fiction change, but a slow, deliberate conversation. Imagine a future where we could cultivate specific strains of bacteria to perform new functions, perhaps a strain that could produce powerful antioxidants to fight aging, or a type of fungi that could help our bodies process and detoxify pollutants from our environment. This isn't a far-fetched idea. We're already seeing hints of it in the form of probiotics and the growing field of synthetic biology. The truth is, we don't really know the full extent of this partnership yet. Scientists are still uncovering the intricate ways our microbiome influences our health, our mood, and even our thought processes. This raises an interesting philosophical question. Are our thoughts truly our own, or are they in some subtle way influenced by the trillions of life forms that live inside us? It's a bit like a conductor and an orchestra. The conductor directs the music, but the quality of the performance is entirely dependent on the players. Our microbiome might be the players, and we, the conductors of our lives, are only just beginning to learn how to appreciate and work with them. This gentle understanding of ourselves as a collective entity can be deeply calming. It's a quiet acceptance that we are not alone, even in our most solitary moments. The constant, silent work of our microbial partners is a reminder of the intricate beauty of life, of the delicate balance that keeps us going. They are the hidden engine of our well-being, the silent engineers of our inner world, and as we drift into a state of rest, this collective is still hard at work, a testament to a beautiful biological truth. We are all in this together on a cellular and a microbial level. We are a universe, and within that universe, 1,000 smaller universes are thriving, each with a story to tell. Having gently drifted through the echoes of our past and the microscopic cities within us, we now turn our attention to the great command center, the most complex object we know of in the universe, the human brain. We often think of the brain as a finished product, a magnificent, intricate machine. But tonight, let's imagine it as a shifting stage, a dynamic theater where the play is never quite the same twice. The truth is, the brain is in a constant state of flux, always rewiring itself, always adapting. This phenomenon is known as neuroplasticity, a beautiful and deeply hopeful idea. It suggests that our brains are not set in stone, but are more like a garden constantly growing and changing in response to our thoughts, our experiences, and our environment. Imagine a bustling city at night. The streets and highways are the neural pathways, and the cars are the electrical signals of our thoughts and memories. When we learn something new, when we practice a skill, or even when we simply have a new thought, we're essentially building new roads or widening old ones. The more we use a particular pathway, the stronger and faster it becomes. Conversely, pathways that are not used begin to fade like overgrown trails in a forgotten forest. This is the very essence of learning and memory. Our brain is a cartographer, constantly redrawing the map of our inner world. This raises a truly beautiful and profound question. If our minds are capable of changing the physical structure of our brains, what kind of a world would we need to live in to evolve a new kind of consciousness? A world of constant newness, perhaps, or a world of deep, quiet contemplation? A truly remarkable scientific fact, one that is a little-known testament to the brain's incredible flexibility, is the ability of some people who are born blind to use parts of their visual cortex, the part of the brain that is supposed to process sight, to process sound and touch. Their brains, unable to receive visual input, simply repurpose that unused real estate for a different purpose. It's a powerful example of the brain as a flexible stage. The actors may change, but the theater remains ready to host a new performance. This leads to a truly fascinating idea. What if our future brains, in response to a changing world, could repurpose even more of their gray matter? Perhaps we could develop a new form of communication, one that bypasses language altogether and goes straight from one mind to another, a form of silent, empathetic understanding. This brings us to a core concept that is both deeply scientific and wonderfully philosophical: the brain as a complex system. It's not just a collection of neurons firing. It's a network of networks, a grand symphony of interconnected parts. And just like a symphony, a single change in one part can have a ripple effect throughout the entire system. Remember how we talked about epigenetics and how our environment can switch genes on or off? The brain is a perfect example of this. The stress we experience, the love we feel, the food we eat, all of it is a part of this quiet conversation, a gentle hand guiding the ever-changing landscape of our minds. This raises another mystery, one that physicists and neuroscientists still grapple with. How does consciousness emerge from a collection of neurons and electrical impulses? We can map the brain, we can observe the firing of synapses, but the experience of being you, the subjective feeling of seeing the color red or hearing a beautiful piece of music, that remains a profound and beautiful mystery. The truth is, we don't really know for sure. It's a bit like trying to understand the magic of a play by only studying the stage and the lighting. We're missing the script, the heart of the performance itself. The idea that our future brains might not only be structurally different, but might also evolve a new form of consciousness. A new way of experiencing the world is both a humbling and exhilarating thought. And so as we drift, let's hold on to this idea of the mind as a shifting stage. It's a calming thought, isn't it? The idea that we are not trapped by our past, that we can learn and grow and change, not just in our actions, but in the very physical structure of our being. The brain is the ultimate testament to the power of transformation, a quiet, beautiful reminder that every moment is a chance to start anew, to build a new road, to create a new story. The journey into our future bodies is not just about what we will become, but about what we can become. And it all begins in the quiet, magnificent theater of the mind. From the shifting stage of the brain, we now descend into the quiet, supportive architecture of our being, the skeleton. It's easy to think of our bones as inert, unchanging structures, the final framework upon which our bodies are built. But this couldn't be further from the truth. The skeleton is a dynamic living system, a silent testament to a constant process of destruction and renewal. We are at this very moment a quiet battleground of cells called osteoclasts, which break down old bone, and osteoblasts, which build new bone. This is a process known as bone remodeling, and it's a beautiful constant dance that ensures our bones stay strong, healthy, and perfectly adapted to the forces and stresses we place upon them. Imagine a grand cathedral, not built once, but constantly being repaired and rebuilt brick by brick over the course of a lifetime. The ancient stones are removed and replaced with new ones, a constant cycle of renewal that ensures the structure remains standing for centuries. This is what's happening inside you right now. Your entire skeleton is replaced approximately every 10 years. This silent, meticulous work is a profound example of the body's incredible capacity for self-repair and adaptation. But what if this process could be optimized, evolved for a future we can only just begin to imagine? This raises a fascinating and deeply poetic question. What if our bones could become even more responsive, more intelligent? Imagine a future where our skeletal structure might become lighter, more porous, or even self-repairing in novel ways. We're not talking about a sudden magical change, but a slow, deliberate unfolding of a new kind of biological engineering. Perhaps the body could learn to embed stronger, lighter materials into the bone matrix, much like a spider spinning a web. This is the realm of biomineralization, the process by which living organisms create minerals. We already see incredible examples of this in nature, such as the hard shells of mollusks or the strong, lightweight structure of a bird's bones. What if our bodies could learn to mimic these processes, creating bones that are both stronger and more flexible, better able to withstand the rigors of an ever-changing world? A little-known but truly remarkable scientific fact is that our bones are not just for support and protection. They are also crucial for the production of red and white blood cells, a process called hematopoiesis. The bone marrow, a soft tissue found in the center of our bones, is a factory for life. This is a powerful reminder that our bodies are a collection of interconnected systems where one part often serves multiple vital functions. The skeleton is not a static framework, but a bustling hub of activity, a quiet engine of our life force. This leads us to a beautiful and still unsolved mystery. How exactly does the body know when and where to build bone? We know that mechanical stress, such as lifting weights or simply walking, stimulates bone growth. This is the Wolff's Law, the idea that bone adapts to the loads it is placed under. But the intricate cellular signaling, the quiet conversations between the osteoclasts and osteoblasts that orchestrate this process, remains a subject of intense scientific inquiry. The truth is, we don't really know all the details. This is a powerful reminder that there is still so much we have yet to discover about the inner workings of our own bodies. So as we drift, let's hold on to this idea of the skeleton as a living, breathing part of our being. It's a deeply comforting thought, isn't it? The idea that our internal support system is constantly being renewed, constantly being made stronger. The journey into our future bodies is not just about what we will become on the outside, but about the quiet, invisible transformations happening deep within. The silent architects of our bones are hard at work, a testament to the power of slow, steady change, a promise that we are always in some way being made new. Our gentle exploration now moves from the silent architects of our bones to the vibrant, beautiful world of our senses. We navigate our reality through 5 main portals: sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. They are our primary interpreters of the world. But what if they were to evolve? What if the tapestry of our senses could be rewoven? Not just to enhance what we already have, but to introduce something entirely new. The idea of a sixth sense has long been the stuff of myth and science fiction. But the truth is, our brains are already capable of feats of perception that are almost magical. Consider the lesser-known but remarkable phenomenon of synesthesia. This isn't a new sense, but a kind of blending of the senses. A synesthete might literally see sounds as colors or taste shapes. For them, the world is a kaleidoscope of fused perceptions, a beautiful constant symphony of crosstalk between the sensory parts of their brain. Imagine hearing a piece of music and not just enjoying the melody, but seeing a shimmering cascade of violet and gold. Or imagine the word library tasting faintly of cinnamon. This condition, which affects a small percentage of the population, is a powerful and poetic example of the brain's incredible plasticity and its capacity for creating new, unconventional connections. It's a glimpse into a world where our senses are not separate, isolated channels, but a single interconnected river of information. This raises a beautiful and deeply philosophical question. If our brains can already create these fused perceptions, what kind of world would we have to live in for this to become the norm? Not a world of 5 senses, but a world of one, where all sensory information is experienced as a unified holistic impression. The truth is, we don't really know for sure, but the thought alone is a powerful one. It suggests that our current perception of reality is just one of many possibilities. Now let's ground this with a core scientific concept, the principle of sensory transduction. This is the process by which our body converts external stimuli, light sound waves, pressure into the electrical signals that our brain can understand. It's the ultimate act of translation. Light hits the retina, and the rods and cones turn that light into a series of electrical pulses. Sound waves vibrate the eardrum, and tiny hair cells in the cochlea turn that vibration into a signal for the brain. What if in our evolutionary future, we could evolve new kinds of transducers? Perhaps tiny magnetic sensors in our skin that could perceive the Earth's magnetic field, allowing us to navigate with an innate compass. Or what about new photoreceptors in our eyes that could detect wavelengths of light that are currently invisible to us, such as infrared or ultraviolet? Remember how we talked about the brain as a shifting stage? Our senses are the actors on that stage, and they are constantly rehearsing and adapting. A truly fascinating but little-known fact is that some animals, like certain birds and insects, can already see ultraviolet light, using it to find food or mates. The thought that we could one day evolve this same ability is both humbling and exhilarating. It means that there is a part of our world, a vibrant, silent reality that is currently hidden from us. As we drift deeper into this state of rest, let's contemplate the idea of our senses, not as windows, but as doors. We are born with 5, but what if there are others waiting to be unlocked? The whisper of a new perception, the ghost of a new way of being. This is the quiet promise of our ongoing evolution. It's the thought that the world, even the most familiar parts of it, might be far more vibrant and mysterious than we can currently imagine. The symphony of our senses is a beautiful one. But perhaps, just perhaps, there are new instruments waiting to be played. We have journeyed through the inner architecture of our bodies and the beautiful symphony of our senses, and now we arrive at a topic that is both fundamental to life and utterly poetic, the act of breathing. The air we breathe is a river of oxygen, a constant life-sustaining flow that powers every single cell in our bodies. The respiratory system, with its intricate network of airways and alveoli, is the quiet engine of this process. But what if this engine could be re-engineered? What if our bodies could evolve to handle an oxygen-scarce world, or a world where our aquatic past all beckons once more? This is the realm of respiratory evolution, and it's a topic filled with both mystery and possibility. Imagine our lungs not as static balloons, but as a vast, complex coral reef. The alveoli, the tiny air sacs where oxygen exchange happens, are the polyps of that reef. They are where the magic happens, a place of intense, silent activity. The scientific concept at the heart of this is the principle of gas exchange. This is the elegant, simple process where oxygen from the air diffuses into our blood, and carbon dioxide from our blood diffuses out. It's a quiet conversation between our bodies and the atmosphere, a constant dialogue that keeps us alive. But this conversation is also a product of our environment. What if the conversation had to change? This raises a fascinating and profoundly important question. What would happen if the air we breathe had a lower concentration of oxygen? In our current world, the body's response is to breathe faster and deeper. But in a world where this was the norm, our bodies would have to adapt on a more fundamental level. We might see the evolution of larger lungs, or a more efficient arrangement of alveoli, or perhaps a more radical change, such as the development of a biological oxygen storage system. This isn't a far-fetched idea. Whales and seals, for example, have a high concentration of a protein called myoglobin in their muscles, which can store oxygen, allowing them to stay underwater for long periods. What if our future bodies could do the same, allowing us to dive deeper to explore the silent, mysterious worlds beneath the waves? A little known but truly remarkable scientific fact is that our bodies already possess a remarkable ability to adapt to high-altitude, low-oxygen environments. People who live at high altitudes, such as the Sherpa people of the Himalayas, have evolved to have more efficient lungs and a higher concentration of red blood cells, allowing them to thrive in thin air. This is a powerful real-world example of the body's ability to evolve in response to its environment. It shows us that the potential for change is not just a dream, but a quiet, powerful reality. This leads us to a beautiful and still unsolved mystery. Scientists are still trying to fully understand the intricate genetic and cellular mechanisms that govern this kind of adaptation. The truth is, we don't really know all the details of how the body orchestrates this profound change. It's a bit like watching a grand play and only seeing the actors on stage without understanding the complex choreography and the countless hours of rehearsal that made it all possible. The quiet work of adaptation is a beautiful mystery, a testament to the body's innate intelligence. And so, as we drift, let's hold on to this idea of our breath as a bridge to the future. Every inhalation and exhalation is not just a simple act of survival, but a quiet, constant conversation with the world around us. The journey into our future bodies is not just about what we will look like, but about how we will interact with the very air we breathe. The silent engine of our respiratory system is a promise of a new kind of life, a new kind of being, a new kind of freedom. As we gently drift from the air, we breathe. Our journey now flows into the silent, intricate river that runs through us all, our circulatory system. This is the body's magnificent highway, a network of veins, arteries, and capillaries that carries the very essence of life to every cell. The heart, a tireless, powerful pump, is the engine of this journey. For most of our history, this system has been a reliable courier delivering oxygen and nutrients and carrying away waste. But what if this system, this silent river, could evolve to carry more than just the essentials? Imagine your blood not just as a transport fluid, but as a living chronicle, a flowing library of information. This isn't a far-fetched idea. The scientific concept at the heart of this is cellular signaling. We already know that hormones and other molecules travel through our blood, carrying messages from one part of the body to another. But what if this communication became more sophisticated? What if our blood could carry not just simple messages, but complex instructions, or even tiny self-replicating biological machines? This is the realm of nanotechnology, a field that is both futuristic and rooted in our current understanding of biology. This raises a fascinating and deeply poetic question. What if our future bodies could produce their own biological nanites, tiny microscopic robots that could patrol our blood vessels, repairing damage, fighting off infections, or even cleaning up cellular debris? This would be a profound evolutionary leap, turning our circulatory system from a simple delivery service into an active, intelligent maintenance crew. The idea is not of a sudden magical change, but of a slow, deliberate unfolding of a new kind of biological engineering, a new kind of internal intelligence. A little known but truly remarkable scientific fact is that our blood already contains incredible self-repairing properties. When you get a cut, your blood is a marvel of efficiency, with platelets and clotting factors rushing to the scene to form a plug, stopping the flow of blood. This is a perfect example of the body's innate ability to heal itself. But what if this ability could be enhanced? What if we could evolve the capacity to repair not just external wounds, but internal damage on a cellular level? This is the quiet promise of our ongoing evolution. This leads us to a beautiful and still unsolved mystery. Scientists are still trying to fully understand the intricate genetic and cellular mechanisms that govern aging. We know that as we age, our cells accumulate damage, and our telomeres, the protective caps on our chromosomes, shorten with each division. But the full picture, the true master clock of aging, remains a profound and beautiful mystery. The truth is, we don't really know all the details. This is a powerful reminder that there is still so much we have yet to discover about the very nature of time and its impact on our bodies. And so as we drift, let's hold on to this idea of our blood as a chronicle. Every beat of your heart is not just a simple act of survival, but a quiet, constant conversation with the past and the future. The journey into our future bodies is not just about what we will look like, but about how our internal rivers will flow, carrying with them the promise of a new kind of life, a new kind of being, a new kind of immortality. Our quiet journey now glides from the silent river of our blood to the very canvas of our being, our skin. We often think of skin as a simple protective barrier, a shield between our delicate insides and the harsh world outside. But what if it were so much more? What if our skin, the largest organ of our body, could evolve to become a living, breathing interface with the world? This is the realm of dermatological evolution, a poetic idea that imagines the skin not as a static shield, but as a dynamic, intelligent frontier. Imagine your skin not just as a uniform covering, but as a complex, multi-layered system, a tapestry of cells, nerves, and proteins. The scientific concept at the heart of this is the principle of biological feedback. Our skin is constantly sensing the world temperature, pressure, texture, and sending that information back to our brain. But what if this feedback loop could become more sophisticated? What if our future bodies could evolve to use our skin not just to sense the world, but to interact with it in new, profound ways? This raises a fascinating and beautiful question. What if our skin could become a canvas for bioluminescence, a living light show? We're not talking about a sudden magical change, but a slow, deliberate unfolding of a new kind of biological expression. Imagine a future where we could communicate emotions or warnings, not just with words, but with a gentle rhythmic glow. This isn't a far-fetched idea. Many organisms in the deep sea already use bioluminescence to attract mates, to lure prey, or to scare off predators. What if our bodies could learn to harness this same biological magic, turning our skin into a silent language of light? A little known but truly remarkable scientific fact is that our skin already has an incredible capacity for self-repair. The cells in our epidermis, the outermost layer of our skin, are constantly being shed and replaced. The average person replaces their skin completely every 2 to 4 weeks. This is a powerful real-world example of the body's innate ability to heal itself. But what if this ability could be enhanced? What if we could evolve the capacity to regenerate skin so quickly and efficiently that even deep wounds could heal in a matter of hours or even minutes? This is the quiet promise of our ongoing evolution, a promise of a new kind of resilience. This leads us to a beautiful and still unsolved mystery. Scientists are still trying to fully understand the intricate genetic and cellular mechanisms that govern skin regeneration. We know that stem cells play a crucial role, but the full picture, the true master plan of how a wound heals and how a scar forms, remains a profound and beautiful mystery. The truth is, we don't really know all the details. This is a powerful reminder that there is still so much we have yet to discover about the quiet, constant work happening just beneath the surface. And so, as we drift, let's hold on to this idea of our skin as a frontier. Every touch, every sensation is not just a simple act of information gathering, but a quiet, constant conversation with the world around us. The journey into our future bodies is not just about what we will look like, but about how our external surface will evolve, carrying with it the promise of a new kind of life, a new kind of being, a new kind of intimacy with the world. Our quiet pilgrimage now gently shifts its focus from the living canvas of our skin to the silent, enduring structure that holds us upright, our spine. For a species that has spent millions of years evolving to stand and walk on 2 feet, the human spine is a marvel of engineering, a beautiful S-shaped curve that balances our weight and protects our central nervous system. But it is also, for many of us, a source of quiet, persistent trouble. The weight of gravity and the demands of our lives can put immense pressure on our spinal discs, leading to pain and discomfort. This is the unburdened atlas, the poetic idea of a future where our bodies no longer feel the full weight of the world, and our spine evolves to become something new, something lighter, and something far more resilient. Imagine your spine not just as a stack of bones, but as a living, flexible chain, a series of interconnected links that are constantly in motion. The scientific concept at the heart of this is the principle of biomechanics, the study of how living organisms move and function. Our spine is a masterpiece of this, a complex system of bones, ligaments, and muscles that work in perfect harmony to allow us to bend, twist, and walk. But this system is also a compromise, a beautiful but imperfect solution to the problem of standing upright. What if this compromise could be transcended? This raises a fascinating and deeply poetic question. What if our future bodies could evolve to have a different kind of spine? One that is not just a stack of bones, but a series of interconnected fluid-filled sacs that could absorb shock and pressure with ease. This is the realm of biological hydrostatics, a field of study that looks at how organisms use fluid pressure to create structure and movement. We already see incredible examples of this in nature, such as the hydrostatic skeletons of worms and jellyfish. What if our bodies could learn to harness this same biological magic, creating a spine that is both incredibly flexible and incredibly strong, a spine that is no longer burdened by the demands of gravity? A little known but truly remarkable scientific fact is that our spinal discs are not just simple cushions. They are living, breathing structures that are constantly exchanging fluid and nutrients. When we lie down, our discs rehydrate, a process that is essential for their health and function. This is a powerful real-world example of the body's innate ability to heal and renew itself. But what if this ability could be enhanced? What if we could evolve the capacity to regenerate our spinal discs so efficiently that the ravages of age and wear and tear become a thing of the past? This is the quiet promise of our ongoing evolution, a promise of a new kind of freedom. This leads us to a beautiful and still unsolved mystery. Scientists are still trying to fully understand the intricate genetic and cellular mechanisms that govern the health and function of our spinal discs. We know that genetics, diet, and lifestyle all play a crucial role, but the full picture, the true master plan of how to prevent and reverse spinal degeneration, remains a profound and beautiful mystery. The truth is, we don't really know all the details. This is a powerful reminder that there is still so much we have yet to discover about the quiet, constant work happening at the very core of our being. And so, as we drift, let's hold on to this idea of our spine as an atlas, a map of our journey. Every step, every twist, every turn is not just a simple act of movement, but a quiet, constant conversation with the forces of the world around us. The journey into our future bodies is not just about what we will look like, but about how our internal support system will evolve, carrying with it the promise of a new kind of life, a new kind of being, a new kind of liberation from the burdens of gravity. Having gently traversed the enduring structure of our spine, our quiet journey now leads us to the heart of our biological story, the genetic code itself. For a long time, we thought of our genes as a fixed script, a destiny written in stone. But the truth, as we've begun to uncover, is far more dynamic and poetic. This is the realm of epigenetics, a beautiful and deeply hopeful idea that we briefly touched upon earlier, but now we will dive deeper into its profound implications. It's the whisper in the code, the silent hand that guides the expression of our genes without ever changing the letters of the script itself. Imagine your DNA as a magnificent ancient library filled with millions of books, each book a different gene. The epigenetic tags are not changes to the text within the books. Rather, they are like tiny bookmarks, sticky notes, and highlights that tell the librarian your cellular machinery. Which books to read? which to read softly and which to leave on the shelf. This is a profound and powerful idea because it means that your life, your experiences, your diet, and your environment are all constantly writing in the margins of your genetic code. The choices you make, the stresses you endure, the love you receive, all of it is a part of this quiet conversation, a gentle hand guiding the ever-changing landscape of your being. This raises a fascinating and beautiful question. What if our future bodies could evolve to consciously influence this process? We're not talking about some radical science fiction change, but a slow, deliberate unfolding of a new kind of biological self-awareness. Imagine a future where we could, through a form of deep meditation or a new kind of biological feedback, consciously activate or deactivate certain genes. Perhaps a gene that protects against a certain disease or a gene that promotes cellular repair. This isn't a far-fetched idea. We already know that certain types of meditation can change the expression of genes related to stress and inflammation. This is the quiet promise of our ongoing evolution, a promise of a new kind of control, a new kind of freedom from our genetic past. A little known but truly remarkable scientific fact is that these epigenetic changes can be passed down to the next generation. This is known as transgenerational epigenetic inheritance. It means that the choices your parents and even your grandparents made, the hardships they endured, and the environment they lived in could be subtly influencing your health and your genetic expression today. This is a powerful real-world example of the interconnectedness of all life. We are not just a product of our own choices. We are a part of a much larger intergenerational story. This leads us to a beautiful and still unsolved mystery. Scientists are still trying to fully understand the intricate mechanisms that govern this process. The truth is, we don't really know all the details of how an environmental signal can be translated into a lasting epigenetic change. This is a powerful reminder that there is still so much we have yet to discover about the quiet, constant work happening at the very core of our being. The whisper in the code is a beautiful mystery, a testament to the body's innate intelligence and its capacity for adaptation. And so as we drift, let's hold on to this idea of our genes, not as a fixed script, but as a living, breathing story. Every day, every moment, we are adding new words, new paragraphs, and new chapters to that story. The journey into our future bodies is not just about what we will look like, but about how our internal narrative will evolve, carrying with it the promise of a new kind of life, a new kind of being, a new kind of liberation from our genetic past. Our quiet drift has carried us from the deep whispering echoes of our genetic code to the very fabric of thought itself. We arrive now at a question that is both scientific and deeply personal: the nature of communication. We communicate through language, through gestures, and through the subtle shifts in our tone of voice. But what if this was just the beginning? What if our future bodies could evolve a new, more intimate form of communication, one that bypasses words and goes straight from mind to mind? This is the language of neurons, the poetic idea of a future where our thoughts and feelings could be shared directly without the need for an intermediary. Imagine your brain as a grand symphony orchestra, each neuron a different instrument playing a different note. The thoughts you have, the feelings you feel, are the music of that orchestra. Language in this analogy is like a musical score, an imperfect transcription of that symphony. It's a beautiful system, but it's also filled with the potential for misunderstanding, for misinterpretation. What if we could listen to the symphony directly? What if we could share the music itself without the need for the score? This is the realm of neural interfaces and brain-computer interfaces, a field that is both futuristic and rooted in our current understanding of neurology. We are already seeing incredible progress in this area with prosthetics that can be controlled by thought alone, and with implants that can help people with paralysis to communicate. This raises a fascinating and beautiful question. What if our future bodies could evolve to have a natural biological neural interface? We're not talking about a sudden magical change, but a slow, deliberate unfolding of a new kind of biological communication. Imagine a future where we could share not just the idea of an emotion, but the very feeling itself. Imagine being able to share the feeling of a beautiful sunset or the joy of a new discovery directly with another person. This would be a profound evolutionary leap, turning communication from an act of translation into an act of direct experience. A little known but truly remarkable scientific fact is that our brains are already incredibly good at mimicking the neural activity of others. When we watch someone perform a task, the same parts of our brain that would be active if we were performing that task ourselves are often engaged. This is the mirror neuron system, a beautiful and deeply empathetic part of our brain that allows us to feel and understand the actions of others. It's a powerful real-world example of the interconnectedness of our minds. What if this system could be enhanced, evolved to a point where we could truly deeply understand the thoughts and feelings of others? This leads us to a beautiful and still unsolved mystery. Scientists are still trying to fully understand the intricate mechanisms that govern the emergence of consciousness. We know that it is a product of our neural activity, but the true master plan, the true source of our subjective experience, remains a profound and beautiful mystery. The truth is, we don't really know all the details. This is a powerful reminder that there is still so much we have yet to discover about the quiet, constant work happening at the very core of our being. And so as we drift, let's hold on to this idea of a new kind of language, a language of neurons. Every thought, every feeling is not just a simple act of internal monologue, but a quiet, constant conversation with the universe around us. The journey into our future bodies is not just about what we will look like, but about how our internal narrative will evolve, carrying with it the promise of a new kind of life, a new kind of being, a new kind of intimacy with the world and with each other, having explored the potential for new forms of communication. Our gentle descent now takes us into the very factories of our being, the cellular machinery that powers us all. We are at our most fundamental level, a collection of cells, and each cell is a bustling complex city. The heart of this city, its power plant, is the mitochondrion. These tiny organelles, often called the powerhouses of the cell, are responsible for generating the vast majority of our energy. But what if this power plant could be re-engineered? What if our future bodies could evolve a more efficient or even a completely different source of energy? This is the realm of metabolic evolution, a poetic idea that imagines a future where our internal machinery operates on a new kind of fuel. Imagine your cells not as simple building blocks, but as bustling complex ecosystems. The mitochondria are the humming glowing generators in the center of that ecosystem, constantly converting the food we eat into a usable form of energy. The scientific concept at the heart of this is the principle of cellular respiration, the process by which our mitochondria take in glucose and oxygen and turn them into adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, the currency of energy in our bodies. It's a beautiful, elegant, and incredibly efficient process, but it's not without its drawbacks. It produces waste products, like free radicals that can damage our cells and contribute to aging. What if this process could be transcended? This raises a fascinating and deeply poetic question. What if our future bodies could evolve to use a different source of energy? We're not talking about a sudden magical change, but a slow, deliberate unfolding of a new kind of biological engineering. Imagine a future where our cells could harness a non-carbon-based energy source, or where our mitochondria could become so efficient that they produce no waste at all. This isn't a far-fetched idea. We already see incredible examples of alternative metabolisms in nature, such as the chemosynthetic bacteria that thrive in deep-sea vents, getting their energy not from the sun, but from the chemical compounds released by the earth. What if our bodies could learn to harness this same biological magic, becoming less dependent on a constant supply of food and air, A little known but truly remarkable scientific fact is that mitochondria are believed to have once been free-living bacteria that were engulfed by our ancient ancestors, a process called endosymbiosis. Over millions of years, they lost their independence and became a permanent, indispensable part of our cells. This is a powerful, real-world example of the interconnectedness of all life. We are, in a very real sense, a collaboration between two different life forms, a testament to the power of a quiet ancient partnership. This leads us to a beautiful and still unsolved mystery. Scientists are still trying to fully understand the intricate mechanisms that govern the health and function of our mitochondria. We know that mitochondrial dysfunction is linked to a wide range of diseases from Alzheimer's to heart disease. But the full picture, the true master plan of how to keep our cellular power plants running smoothly, remains a profound and beautiful mystery. The truth is, we don't really know all the details. This is a powerful reminder that there is still so much we have yet to discover about the quiet, constant work happening at the very core of our being. And so, as we drift, let's hold on to this idea of our cellular machinery as a testament to evolution. Every breath we take, every meal we eat, is not just a simple act of survival, but a quiet, constant conversation with our deep biological past and our potential future. The journey into our future bodies is not just about what we will look like, but about how our internal engines will evolve, carrying with it the promise of a new kind of life, a new kind of being, a new kind of liberation from the constant demands of the physical world. We have journeyed through the quiet factories of our cells, and now we arrive at a topic that is perhaps the most profound of all the relentless march of time. We are all, in a sense, on a journey toward an inevitable end, a process of aging that we've come to accept as a fundamental law of nature. But what if this law could be rewritten? What if our future bodies could evolve the ability to slow or even halt the aging process? This is the realm of cellular immortality, a poetic idea that imagines a future where the relentless march of time becomes a gentle, controllable dance. Imagine your body not as a finished clock ticking down to zero, but as a series of intricate hourglasses, each one representing a different aspect of your cellular life. The scientific concept at the heart of this is the telomere theory of aging. Telomeres are the protective caps on the ends of our chromosomes, much like the plastic tips on the ends of shoelaces. Every time a cell divides, these telomeres get a little shorter. When they get too short, the cell can no longer divide, and it either dies or becomes senescent, a state of permanent arrest. This is a beautiful and elegant explanation for the aging process, a quiet internal clock that governs the lifespan of our cells. But what if this clock could be reset? This raises a fascinating and beautiful question. What if our future bodies could evolve to produce an enzyme called telomerase in all of our cells? Telomerase is a powerful enzyme that can rebuild telomeres, essentially resetting the cellular clock. We already have this enzyme in some of our cells, such as our stem cells and our germline cells, which is what allows them to divide indefinitely. What if this ability could be extended to every cell in our body? This would be a profound evolutionary leap, turning the aging process from a relentless one-way street into a quiet, beautiful cycle of renewal. A little known, but truly remarkable scientific fact is that we are not the only ones with telomeres. Nearly all living organisms have them, but some animals, like lobsters, and some species of turtles, have an incredible ability to produce telomerase throughout their lives, a key factor that contributes to their extreme longevity. They are not immortal, but they do not seem to suffer from the same kind of cellular aging that we do. What if our bodies could learn to harness this same biological magic, turning the relentless march of time into a gentle, controllable dance? This leads us to a beautiful and still unsolved mystery. Scientists are still trying to fully understand the intricate genetic and cellular mechanisms that govern the production of telomerase. We know that it is a key to unlocking the secrets of longevity. But the full picture, The true master plan of how to safely and effectively activate this enzyme in all of our cells remains a profound and beautiful mystery. The truth is, we don't really know all the details. This is a powerful reminder that there is still so much we have yet to discover about the quiet, constant work happening at the very core of our being. And so as we drift, let's hold on to this idea of a new kind of immortality. Not an immortality of the body, but an immortality of the cell, a quiet, constant conversation with the very nature of time itself. The journey into our future bodies is not just about what we will look like, but about how our internal clock will evolve, carrying with it the promise of a new kind of life, a new kind of being, a new kind of liberation from the relentless march of time. We have arrived at the final leg of our quiet journey, a gentle return from the farthest reaches of possibility to the quiet intimacy of this very moment. We've imagined our bodies as living tapestries, as ancient histories, as microscopic cities, and as shifting stages. We've explored the whispers in our DNA and the silent language of our neurons. We've dreamed of new senses, new forms of sustenance, and even a new kind of freedom from the relentless march of time. Now, we must gather these threads and weave them together into a final, beautiful reflection. The journey we have taken is not one of prediction, but of possibility. We have not been looking into a crystal ball, but rather into a mirror that reflects not just who we are, but who we could become. The central idea that the quiet, persistent truth that has guided our journey is that evolution is not a story that ended with us. It is a story that is still being written one cell at a time, one breath at a time. The human body is not a monument to the past, but a promise to the future. The profound mystery that remains is not whether we will evolve, but how. Will it be a slow quiet, unfolding a gentle conversation between our bodies and our environment? Or will we, in our curiosity and our audacity, take a more active role consciously, guiding our own evolution through our understanding of epigenetics, our exploration of biological engineering, and our deep introspective journeys into the nature of consciousness itself? The truth is, we don't really know for sure. But the journey of discovery, the journey of asking these questions, is a beautiful and deeply human one. This brings us to a little-known but truly remarkable scientific fact that I find to be the most hopeful of all. Scientists have discovered a species of bacteria that lives in the gut of a certain type of beetle. This bacterium can produce an enzyme that allows the beetle to survive on a diet of wood. What is remarkable is that the bacterium's genetic code has been incorporated into the beetle's own DNA. This is a powerful real-world example of lateral gene transfer, a process where an organism can acquire genetic material from another completely unrelated organism. It's a quiet, beautiful testament to the power of collaboration, of a partnership so deep that it transcends the very definition of a species. It is a reminder that we are all, in a very real sense, a part of a much larger interconnected web of life. The journey continues. The story is not over. The human body is a universe of potential, a canvas of endless possibility. It is a testament to the quiet, persistent power of change, a reminder that we are always in some way becoming. We are not just the product of a past evolution, but the architects of a future one. And so our journey ends where it began, here in the quiet of this moment. The ideas we've explored, the questions we've asked, are now gently brushing past the edges of your mind, slowly fading into the soft background. The concepts of new senses of evolving bones and of a different kind of consciousness are now just whispers, like the rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze. I'd like to gently ask one last time, where is the place you're staying now? The time in that place at this very moment. How is it flowing? Is the sun rising or setting? Is it a soft twilight or a deep quiet night? Whatever your time, whatever your place, know that you are a part of this beautiful, endless story. You are a living testament to the power of change, a quiet promise to the future. Take a moment to feel the weight of your own body. the soft, rhythmic beat of your own heart. It is the sound of an epic still being written. And now, as you prepare to close your eyes, remember that the journey we've taken is not a destination, but a state of mind. It is a gentle, calming reminder that we are all always in the process of becoming. Sleep well, my companion, wherever and whenever you are. Sweet dreams.